Michael Boyle's StrengthCoach.com presents the Strength Coach Podcast, brought to you by Perform Better, the experts in functional training and rehabilitation. PerformBetter.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to special episode 169.5. You know it's special because it got the 0.5. This is the Strength Coach Podcast, the official podcast of Michael Boyle, StrengthCoach.com, the world's best source for strength and conditioning information. You can try StrengthCoach.com out for 3 days for just $1, and if you have a staff of 2 or more, you want to sign up as a group, we have a special membership offer for you up to 50% off, depending on how many people you got. Check it out at StrengthCoach.com. I'm your host, Anthony Renna, and the show notes are located at StrengthCoachPodcast.com. Want to get in touch with me, shoot me an email to StrengthCoachPodcast@gmail.com. All right, so on today's show, it's all about the fitness business. I have two of my favorite people on, Rachel and Alan Cosgrove, and we are going to talk about everything from what mistakes trainers are making opening up a business, the hierarchy of marketing, one of my favorite concepts, what the numbers can tell you about your business, whether or not you have your own business or you're even just a trainer at a big-time gym, lifetime value of a client, and if you don't know about that, that's a really super important thing. And we're going to talk about their upcoming event, Launchpad to Success. The Launchpad is a 3-day powerhouse event that anyone who owns a business, or if you're even thinking of it, you need to attend this. And if you want to check that event out right now, you can go to StrengthCoachLaunch.com. That's StrengthCoachLaunch.com. You can check out all the details and take advantage of the early bird special for that event that ends on August 10th. You can check that out at StrengthCoachLaunch.com. That's coming up on October 1st to 3rd out in Valencia, California. Well, lots of things to get to, so let's get on the phone with the Cosgroves. All right, Cosgroves, how you doing?
We're doing good.
What's up? Thanks for having us on, buddy.
All right, absolutely. Well, you know, you guys have been talking about in your segments, at the end of your segments, you've been talking about an event that you guys are going to be doing in October called the Launchpad to Success. And I wanted to kind of get you on to go over not just about the event, but, you know, we get a lot of questions, as you know, on TrainCoach.com as well. And I wanted to kind of be able to put some of the things together, not just like we do in the segment, just so everybody kind of has it in one place. So let's start out just with, give us a little overview of what's going on with the event, and then we'll get into some different business questions.
We're really excited about this event. It's coming up in October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and it's the first time we've put on a big seminar like this. So we're a little nervous, but we're very excited, and we want everyone to come. We're going to be sharing, information. We're putting together talks that we've never done before. Basically, it's going to be a reset for your business. It's going to really help you to build the business and the life of your dreams. And so we really just want to lay it all out. 3 jam-packed days. We're going to have guest speakers. We're going to have just, some really great information that we want to share. And as you know, our mission is to change the way fitness is done. And so that's what this event will do, is one step closer to truly changing the way fitness is done.
And part of it is that there's only, as much as we try to help on the podcast and our articles, there's only so much business change you can make with a 5-minute clip once every other week or a 10-minute article that someone reads. So our idea was to make it this an intensive 3-day course where you come in and we basically just redesign and reboot your business with some of the ideas that we have there. I got a great quote from one of our coaching members, Casey Washak, who says, you don't go to the Betty Ford clinic 3 days a week for an hour. You have to go and invest in the program completely for it to work. And that's the idea that we're doing here, is it's a 3-day, we're going deep and we're going to change a lot of people's lives, hopefully.
Yeah, and obviously I've been to your seminars and been out there, been part of your mastermind group. And one of the things I can say is that I completely agree with is that, when you're able to spend that whole day there, you're really able to kind of get some, ask yourself some of those important questions. And then I think what really helps too, especially for some of us that are, kind of on our own and we don't have a huge staff, it's nice to have a bunch of other kind of, like-minded passionate people who have invested in themselves, who are kind of having some of the same problems, because you don't feel like such a loser. Like 'cause sometimes I'll be in the studio. I remember being in the studio alone. I'd be like thinking, geez, am I the only one? Especially with Facebook and Twitter, everybody seems like they're doing so wonderful. And then, I felt like, man, this is horrible. But it was nice to kind of go out and see some other fitness pros that are struggling. And I think, one of the things too is, and that's going to be my first question, is we seem to all struggle with the same stuff. What are some things that you feel like, that have led you guys to have this mission where, what are some of the big things that you see fitness professionals struggling with as they build their business?
Well, the one thing that you touched on there, Anthony, is when you're out there as an independent trainer on your own and you run into a challenge, you don't have anyone to turn to a lot of the time. Like, you can't call corporate, you can't call the franchise down the street and get some information from them. So a lot of the time there's just this power of having some people to talk to. But I'll say that the biggest mistakes that fitness professionals make is, it really starts, and it always sounds soft when I say this, they don't know what their vision is for their business, right? They truly don't know where they want to go. So it's very hard for them to turn down opportunities. You wanted to be a golf guy, right? But then if a cyclist walks in and goes, hey, can you come and do a cycle fitness training session in the park? Well, do you have the confidence to turn down that opportunity because it doesn't fit in with your vision? There's a lot of trainers out there who, they don't even know what their vision is. So they'll just take every and any opportunity to make some money. So the biggest mistake I see fitness professionals do to start with is, what do you really want from this? Like, what's your actual goal, right? What is your vision for your business? And it's always this soft question: where do you see yourselves 3 years from now? But most people have never thought of it. The average fitness trainer has a plan to, between now and retirement, somehow accumulate enough money so that they can retire. Right? I always ask them, do you plan on training people when you're 75, 80? And they say no. And I'm like, when are you going to stop? 55. I'm like, all right, 55, what's the plan? How much money do you have now? Because that's only, 15, 20 years away. And most of them have no plan. And it starts with not having any vision.
And I think that, really with not having that vision, they end up kind of walking in circles, doing multiple things and not getting any closer to where they want to go because they have no idea where they want to go. I think that's the biggest thing is what we do, as coaches is, really help our coaching members to, like I always say, if I gave you directions to go somewhere and first of all, you got to figure out where that is when you're asking me for directions, where do you want to go? But then second of all, I think a lot of trainers end up spending their days basically, if you want to think about it as looking down at your feet. So each footstep you take, basically training your 5 a.m., training your 6 a.m., training your 7 a.m., and, going in a circle, but not actually getting any closer to where you go. So you kind of feel like you're running that rat race of, day after day, 5 a.m. till 9 p.m., but not getting any closer to that actual vision because you haven't decided where it is yet. And so once we know where that vision is, then, as a coach, we can help you to every single day pick your head up and focus on that vision and figure out, okay, what's my next step to get closer to that so that I can, really make sure that I'm making progress. I'm taking action every single day to make that come true.
Yeah, it is true about, that's what I meant before also about asking, I never really asked myself those questions. And I think, besides the vision, I think you guys have you guys have so many of those that I remember just sitting there thinking, wow, I didn't think about that, or I didn't think about this, and then I think it makes some of the other principles, I guess, easier to swallow, because I will say there is certain things that sometimes, I found myself resisting when I first heard them, and then I feel like once you start to understand and almost, like start at the finish with where you want to be, they're easier to take. For example, working with golfers, I remember, part of the problem was they're coming from this idea. They're not coming from a team. They're coming from this one-on-one thing all the time with their instruction. And so it was very, at first it was hard to convince me that the golfer was going to be okay with this. But when you start to figure out that, if you want to get anywhere, you're going to have to do it this way. And it is a better way. But talk about some of the resistance that you get in the beginning from some people about, some of the systems that you recommend.
Well, and I think that's interesting, Anthony, that you say that. And I think when you do feel that uncomfortableness, right, or that resistance, it's usually a sign that it's something that you need to hear.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we do see that it's, and then once you do start to understand, where we're coming from is really to help you get closer to that vision. I mean, everybody has a different vision and a different, different idea of what you want to create in your business. But for us, we're always looking for one of the things that most trainers struggle with is leveraging their time management. They get their schedule filled with their one-on-one clients, and then they've reached their max of how many people they can help, and also how much money they can make. And so, really when, some of our systems and some of our, what we teach, including, semi-private training, and can we fit more than one person in an hour, and, can we put a couple golfers together and, still train them with individualized programs and still, be able to help more people in less time. Now we can leverage your time. Now we can help you to make more money. Now you can help more people. And probably what you found is that, the golfers all like hanging out with each other, and that they don't mind actually working out and, and sharing, that time together, because, they enjoy that camaraderie and that support. And so, we're always looking for us, every single thing that we've ever taught and every single thing that we've ever come up with has been a solution to a problem. We started off as one-on-one trainers as well. We were there, we both were working, session after session, one-on-one. And, we filled our schedule, realized we have a problem, because then we'd hire our next trainer, and then they would fill up one-on-one, and then our next trainer filled up one-on-one, and pretty soon our gym is packed full. We have no room for any more clients. None of us are making the money we want. And, we don't have room for anybody else. And we have, 4 trainers and 4 clients, and that's it. And so for us, it was, we really realized, wait a minute, I don't need the 3 of you. I can train all 4 of these people. And, now 2 of us can train 8 people. And it was really it's about finding a solution to a problem. And so every system that we've put into our business that's purely what it is for us to create that solution to help more people and to change the way fitness is done. And that's, when you do find that resistance, I think, that's something that might be actually holding you back. It's maybe a belief system or something that you keep telling yourself, in your mindset, that you need to hear. And that first time you hear it, it definitely sometimes is hard to swallow. And we know that. And so, we've had a few of our, quite a few, actually just recently at our mastermind, one of our coaching members was very resistant against semi-private training. He did all one-on-one, and he just switched over this last 3 months. And he was at our mastermind this last week, and he was like, I can't believe how much better it is. I can't believe it totally works. And he was, he became a believer. And it was just awesome to see, because now he can leverage his time so much better, make so much more money, and help so many more people.
Well, one of the things I think that people are resistant to when we get right down to it is everything that we do at Results Fitness and everything that we teach is based upon a system. We have a system of generating leads. That's our marketing system. We have a system of converting those leads to members. That's our sales system. We have a system of assessing these members to help design the program. So we use the FMS and some other tools to create the ideal, we can figure out the ideal program for the client. Then we design the program following a system, and then we coach the clients in an environment which is a semi-private model, but they're running individualized programs. And one of the resistance there is to train more people at once, but still maintain that individuality and not just go towards a generic group workout. Right? You have the individual programs. That's hard, and then some resistance comes there because it's hard. And then we have a way of collecting money, which is a system. We collect the billing from the client through agreements, or to use in the legal term, contracts. So a lot of the times, and I think the resistance is not about the actual business stuff. It's the fact that when you start doing systems, you're now just executing a script. You can't be the freestyle guy. You can't be the guy who mixes it up and does his own thing, right? You're either on board following a plan with the rest of the team, or you're a free agent. You're the lone warrior out there doing it on your own and trying to figure out. So for a lot of people to admit that they need help or guidance is a big step. But secondly, to be told that, listen, I don't want you to wing it. I don't want you to just do your own crazy stuff when you're training clients. I want you to follow some type of a system. Then there's sometimes resistance there on a personality level. So I'd say the biggest thing is that the resistance comes from, I have to identify why you're at my seminar and what's not working. Otherwise, I'd be at your seminar listening to what's working, right? So I have to figure out why you're at my seminar and what's not working for you and where the biggest areas we can improve are. And really, at the end of the day, human beings sometimes don't like change. Even positive change, it's very hard for people to follow through on. So a lot of the resistance is on change, but we push and we have the support and the evidence to prove it, right? And so when people, and then I usually say at some point, prove me wrong, give it a try. And most people come back after giving it a try and become raving fans because they're helping more people and they're making more money.
Yeah, and it reminds me a little bit of, here people sitting in your seminars, and remind me of something John Berardi once said. Here they are, and they're disagreeing with you. And well, how do you do it? Well, it's one-on-one. Well, how's that working out for you? And why are you sitting in this chair? But I think with some of these things that you guys talked about, for me, especially when I remember kind of being resistant towards it, there's no way that the golfers are going to do it. One of the things, and this actually just happened about 3 weeks ago, one of the cool things that I would have never expected was the culture that breeds from the semi-private and the group classes. Because I actually have, I went golfing with 7 of my members. They took me to their club. One of the guys invited everybody from this one class that we were doing all winter on Saturday, and so it was pretty cool. Like, those are the kind of things that make you happy in terms of that culture that these guys would have never met if it wasn't for doing semi-private and that class. And that was my next thing, is that I think when you talk about systems, a lot of people might not think that culture you can have a system to help breed that culture. So for me, that worked out great, and it's really one of the benefits. I love when my guys see each other, and then the fact that they're golfing with each other is at different clubs is awesome. Talk to us about the importance of culture and how do you create that culture?
Well, first off, I just want to piggyback, and I'm not against one-on-one. I think one-on-one's a useful tool, but it has to be a high price, and just by the nature of it, you can't help a lot of people. So that's always, from a business model, being the limiting factor. I'm not against it in terms of what happens, right? It's someone paying a lot of money to be with you, one-on-one, maybe 2 sessions a week, maybe 3. So, and realistically, maybe you can do 35 to 45 coaching hours a week. So you can help, 20 people, 15 to 21 people. Well, that was never something I wanted to do. And then when you're in that model, if one client, takes a vacation, you lose a lot of money because you can't fill that spot for 1 week or 2 weeks when they're gone. And if one client leaves and moves cross country, it takes a massive hit on your income. So the semi-private was a solution to the problem. And the side effect of the semi-private, as you said, is it just created this amazing culture, because it started to be not about the client coming in to meet the trainer at the gym. It came about the clients, plural, coming to meet each other and work out together at the gym. It was more about them.
And I think, having that culture is one of the biggest things. And really, for us, we teach, we want to build a fence around our business. We want to make sure that, we're really creating a place where our members are going to not only sign up with us and become a member, but also stay with us for the long term. And I think when you start to take it off of being dependent on you, as the business owner, and more dependent on your culture and your community, We teach that building a fence around your clients, you have to have the 4 sides of the fence. And, really one of those sides of the fence is going to be your community, and making sure you do build something bigger than yourself that your members can be a part of, that they can feel like they're a part of that community. And then one of the other sides of the fence is a family. They feel like it's a family atmosphere, and that they can, they're a part of, to the point where our members, feel like they help us to make decisions, and they come in and they love when we invest in the gym, and they feel like it's theirs, and they feel like they take that ownership of the gym and that community. And, then the other 2 sides of the fence, when you're, really protecting your business and really wanting to keep all of your members, are building that trust with your members. And then the last side of the fence is showing them that you care. And I think between those 4 things, that community, having that family atmosphere, that trust, and then showing that you care, that kind of a culture is where you're going to have members stay for the long term, and they're never going to leave. And, it's just going to keep building. And the great part about that is that, we're talking about, when you shift from one-on-one to semi-private, it's no longer dependent on you. And now it's easier to be able to hire a team. It's easier to be able to, step away and really let that culture continue to grow and continue to, flourish on its own.
And the culture part, it exists out there in businesses. Yoga has a culture. Spinning has a culture. The MMA guys have a culture. And CrossFit has a culture. Right? So even in your business, right, I see people that, I don't have a culture. There's a culture there. It might not just be the one that you want, but there's always one there. But the idea is that with certain tools in place, like recognition for clients, like a family atmosphere, right, and a team environment amongst your staff, with good programming and that good energy, and running it in the semi-private environment, you can shape the culture to be something pretty awesome that people will never want to leave.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why where I think, sometimes I thought of it as an intangible thing, and then kind of attending your seminars, it started to take shape where there are things that you can do that I was already doing, but then kind of adding to those. And I also want you to just talk right now a little bit about core values, because this is another thing that kind of shocked me about really how important those things are. And it's almost like writing goals down. When you write your core values down, they almost start to, they get inside of you a little bit more, and you find yourself understanding what's important to you, and how you want your business to run, and how you want your clients to be and your staff to be. Talk to us about the core values.
Yeah, the core values are really the backbone of your business. And I think, when we do talk about core values at some of our seminars, I think a lot of times it's kind of the soft stuff, and it's one of those things that's easy to put off and go, really, I want to know the hard stuff. I don't necessarily want to think about the soft stuff, because sometimes it's the harder stuff to really sit down and figure out. For us, we used to have, core values written down. They were long and lengthy. They were, we were told at one point, when you have a business, you should write down your core values. So we did, and kind of stuck them in a drawer and forgot about them, and yes, they were important at the time when we wrote them, but, they weren't something we really had grasped onto. So if that's something that, you've done, that maybe you've written some down, but maybe you haven't actually owned them and actually made them a part of your day-to-day life and your day-to-day business, that's when it really transformed our business, was when we actually got the idea from Zappos. We went to one of their mentorships, and we heard Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos, speak, and he talked about how they have core values, and they're known for their culture, they're known for that customer service, and really those core values. And so when he talked about it and he gave us some tips on how to create those core values, we went back as a team, and this is a really great team project to get everybody on board so that everybody takes ownership of them. And you really figuring out, who are we, what is, and a lot of the core values that we ended up landing on are things that obviously are who we are and how we were already running our business. They were already rules that we lived by. They were already things that we made a decision to, all of our decisions through. They literally are who you are. And so when we started to write them down as a team, we realized, for us, our 11 core values are: bring your best, be professional, be honest and transparent, communicate clearly with mutual understanding. So what you'll notice is these are short and they're action. They're easy to remember, and they're very, all of them are. So we wouldn't just say professionalism. Instead, we say be professional. And so that was one of the things as we, wrote down our core values, making sure they were action items. We have only good days and great days. Be we, not me, which be we, not me was one that one of our team members actually came up with. And, really that was one that he contributed, which was great. Because again, when you get the whole team to own those core values, that's when it really becomes powerful. Constantly learn, always improve, have fun and a sense of humor. I mean, if you haven't met my husband, Alan, here sitting here, you must know that you might have to have a fun and a sense of humor if you're going to be hanging out with us. Strive for profitability and exceed expectations. And then our last one is to keep leading. And that's really, for us, when anything we do, any decision we make, we run it through this filter of our core values. And so if it's something that people haven't thought about or ever done, it's really, one of those first steps that, when you do come to one of our events, we really, we go through a few exercises. We start to figure out what are your core values? What do you stand for? Let's get them down on paper, because this is what you're going to hire by. This is what you're going to fire by. This is, literally who you are. And at Results Fitness, we, every day someone says one of these core values, will be, if the place is, if someone cracks a joke, someone will say, oh, that's number 8, have fun and a sense of humor, or if, we're talking about how, we want to add a new profit center, then, we'll probably bring up number 9, strive for profitability. And so literally in our daily language, these core values are a part of, our regular conversation. And so that way everyone really takes ownership of them. They really become a part of our culture, and they're really the backbone of, creating that community and creating what you stand for.
And it's also, though, there's the part to get is there's a gym somewhere I saw online, and they copied our core values and put them on their website. And it's actually flattering. I'm not upset at that, but I don't believe that's their real core values. Right? I think that you need to have your own core values and your own culture. And even thinking something as simple as if you go to a Perform Better seminar, the sort of, you can tell that like perhaps Stuart McGill, Greg Rose, and Gary Gray have a different sort of culture and core value than I do. And then again with like Martin Rooney and Todd Durkin, we're all presenters, we're all teaching material, but the style in which we present is part of your own culture. Right? That's part of how this goes. So the idea is that it, as you touched on, Anthony, it's not this intangible thing. It can be shaped and it can grow and it can become something very powerful as a member retention tool. See, there's a lot of members, a lot of trainers I talk to, and their number one question is, how do I get more members? And my question is, why are you losing so many members that after all this time, you still have space for more members? So retention is big, and retention is really built upon the fence Rachel touched on and the sort of core values that go behind that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And let's switch over to number 9, where you said about strive for profitability, because I think one of the things for me, I ran some pretty big bars and had to be accountable for a, profit and loss statement and explain what was happening with each section of that profit and loss. But I was kind of lost in the fitness business doing the same thing. And I think that's one of the things that I really kind of learned from you guys was looking at those numbers. Rachel's pretty impressive. She could be like, I think we went by the smoothie bar and she saw 3 bananas and said, oh, we must have sold 12 banana smoothies today because we had 8 bananas to start. It's crazy. That's a little crazy. But tell us when people go to your mastermind, what are they learning about their numbers and about their business?
I love spreadsheets. And I think, I think trainers, as Alan will say, trainers are good at numbers. They're just looking at the wrong numbers. A lot of them, you tell them to put 135 pounds on the bar, they're going to have no problem telling you that, oh, that's 2 45-pound plates, and a standard bar.
Yeah, they can do math divided by 45-pound plates and bars very easy. Right? I was throwing out random numbers at a seminar. I never took more than 1 second for any trainer to tell me what plates to put on the bar to get to that weight. But then I'd ask them, what does your average client pay? And they have no idea. They got to go look it up on their computer or tell me a big story about how they don't really know because they run boot camps one-on-one and group classes. So the part I want to get out of the way is they're all good at numbers. They just need to start looking at the right numbers.
So a lot of what we do is just help, is teach you what numbers to look at, and start to shift your focus from maybe some of the numbers you've been looking at, whether that's, how much weight your clients are lifting, or, how much body fat they've lost, or, the percentages of the increase in their strength, or a percentage of loading, all these numbers that you've been looking at. And now let's look at shift and start to become a business owner and put that, CEO hat on and start to look at what numbers are really going to give me, that insight into how my business is doing. Am I growing? Am I on the right track? And, really most importantly is, pinpointing what do I need to improve? And if you can, really by looking at some simple numbers, go, okay, you know what? I know I need to work on the phone script. And that tells you right away, if I just spend a little bit of time, honing in on my phone script, doing some role playing, getting my team doing a better job on the phones, that I'm going to actually increase the number of people that are going to come in, and then I'm going to increase the number of people that are going to sign up. And just by starting to track some of these numbers and starting to look at, how many people are calling us, how many people are showing up, how many people are signing up, how many people are renewing, and then, looking at day to day, what, how much money is coming across your cash register, how much are you making? And start to set some goals and start to really, for us originally, the first time we did this and the first time we started to shift our focus from, trainer numbers to business numbers, we did it on an envelope. We wrote down a goal at the bottom of the envelope of what we wanted to make that month. And then every single day, whatever money came in, if we sold a package of sessions or whatever we sold, we wrote, the date, and then we wrote that amount of money and we subtracted it from our goal. And then it gave us what was left that we needed to still make that month. We divided it by the number of days in the month. And then, each day we tried to hit whatever we needed to hit for that day to then at the end of the month, make what we had set as our goal. And the crazy thing was that it always came within dollars of the goal we wrote down. And, it's amazing how when you start getting your mind focused on the right numbers and you start getting, setting those goals and start to demand from your business what you need from it, to support your life and to support your business, to build a sustainable business, that's when, you start to see that you have the power to really make what you want to make and, really drive your business by the numbers to, every single day, make sure that you're taking action to, to make enough money and to be able to support yourself and your family and your business.
It's also I know a lot of trainers listening right now just switched off there because it's not exciting or sexy, right? Like, but tracking your numbers is the easiest way. If I asked you that, hey, I want to bench press 300 pounds, right now I can bench press 250 pounds. A trainer can very easily and very competently, assuming I've got no major injuries, can design a program of progressive overload that allows that to happen by breaking down the goal into actionable steps. Well, the income for your business is absolutely no different. If you need to make an extra $100,000 a year, right, that becomes an absurd amount of money. But if you had a client who pays $250 a month, right, so $250 a month times on a 12-month agreement, and $250 a month, that's an average gym membership out here at Results Fitness. For some people, that could be they're doing 5 sessions a month of one-on-one training. They could be doing $10, $25 large group classes in the month. It's not a big commitment, so it's about an average price. If you do $250 on an annual agreement, and that's the important step, is that's a $3,000 membership, right? So if I want to make $100,000 in the year, and I have all these $3,000 memberships, I need 33 clients. So if I need to increase my income, charging $250 a month, I only need to pick up 33 clients. That is less than 3 clients per month. Now, if you can't pick up 3 clients per month, you didn't listen to my seminars and you've not been listening to the Business of Fitness segment on the Strength Coach podcast, because we give ideas on how to generate leads and how to market towards people. But the idea is everything can be measured and broken down. If I want more clients, means more money, but it also means more staffing, and it also means more delivering the programs. But everything fits together into one. But like I said, breaking down my goal to increase my bench press by 50 pounds, most trainers could do, but they never seem to have an idea of how they could drive their business to make an extra, $8,000 a month or $4,000 a month or even $400 a month. And that's some of what we'll be teaching at our upcoming event is we teach these concepts so that people understand them. But then what a lot of seminars don't do is we teach action steps as to how to actually make it happen, right? It's all right writing on paper that, wow, $250 a month on an annual agreement is $3,000 and you've 33 clients to get 100 grand. Well, how do you get them? What do you do day one, right? What's the marketing plan? How do you put this together? That's the stuff we'll be teaching. Because one of the things that I mentioned it to you years ago, and is I think there's a lot of good people out there teaching good business stuff, but there are very few people who are in the gym business who've been there, done that, but are still doing it today in 2015, right? That changes the game a little bit because the market does change quite a bit on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And you're right. Still doing it is important because it does change, and having that whole support group really does help. And, going back to these numbers really quick, I just wanted to go over one thing because I think it will prove how actionable the steps, when you guys teach these numbers and analyzing them a little bit, it does lead to other things. Like, for example, can you go over lifetime value of a client really quick and just talk about, because for me, the aha moment there was learning that lifetime value of a client, then understanding from a marketing perspective, maybe what you can also do if you understand how important, and if you know your conversion numbers. So if you know that, you convert, 30%, so every 3 people out of every 10 that come in, what you can give as incentive if you know the lifetime value of a client. So just go over that a little bit, and then it'll make what I just said a little bit easier to understand.
Well, that might be the single most important number in the fitness business, is the lifetime value of a client. The way to work that out is, and trainers have a hard time with this because typically they have about 8 different memberships, right? So I'll make it easy and I'll use the numbers that I just said. If your average membership is $250 per month and a client stays with you on average for 1 year only, that means that one client is worth $3,000 to you. So that's just the fact. Like, before they've bought any shakes or t-shirts or foam rollers or bottles of water, they're worth $3,000 in the next 12 months to you. So if I taught you a system that took this client and made them stay for 2 years, well, that system's worth another $3,000 to your business. But if you did that with one client every month, you're adding $3,000 a year every month to your bottom line, right? Which you start doing it is $36,000 in the year, right? That's how understanding these numbers work. Now let's imagine that every 2 clients that sit down with you, you sign up one person. So two prospects equals one member, and that one member equals obviously $3,000 because the lifetime value of a customer. Now let's say every 10 phone calls you get, right, or every 10 inquiries you get, there's 2 prospects. Some of the other calls are people trying to sell you advertising or your current clients or something else. But we know that 10 phone calls means 2 prospects, which means one member with your sales skills, and that equals $3,000. Let me just break down that math. One phone call in your business is worth $300. And I'll have trainers tell me I can't afford an admin to answer the phone. Right? You see how ridiculous that is? Then when we're breaking it down to every 10 phone calls, we'll get 2 prospects. Every 2 prospects, we'll get 1 member, and every 1 member is worth $3,000. Then just doing the math backwards, that means a single phone call could be worth $300, and you don't have somebody answering the phone, or you're letting the phone go to voicemail, right? So that's just something to look at. And then if I could increase the marketing so that every 10 phone calls, I get 4 prospects, and I increase your sales skills so that instead of doing a 50%, so going from 2 prospects to 1, we'll now do 75% and go from 4 prospects to 3. That means I have 3 members. That means it's $9,000. So one phone call is pretty much could be worth $900 to your business. Now, I know I did that fast, but I can break that down way more at the seminar. But this is the understanding of what one person is worth to your business. Because if you don't think about it long term, you're like, well, Steve pays $40 a workout. How many workouts does Steve typically do? And how long has Steve been a client with you? and how many other average people like Steve are. And if you're using agreements in place, we can track this a lot more effectively, because I know an average client member, right? I know an average lifetime value of a client or a membership over that time, because if someone signs up at Results Fitness, it's typically going to be an annual contract. Most people will renew. So I know I can track my money. I know how much money is coming in next July. Right? I know how much money is coming in January before we've signed up anybody else. So that's just good numbers to know when I'm deciding, right, we're going to expand the group room and put in one of those, Perform Better systems so we can improve our group training. I'm going to add more kettlebells because I know the money's there, because I know the lifetime value of a customer. I know how many we have. And then if we establish that one member, using these numbers, one new member's worth $3,000, how much could you afford to pay to reach these members? Right? At $3,000, I mean, technically it would be bad business, but even if you spent $2,900, you still made a profit, right? You made $100, but at $3,000, you could easily afford to spend a couple of $100 in marketing and gifts and referral prizes just to get that client in the door, because the profit margin's there.
Absolutely. And I think that's where people should, if they can't hear it, they should really start to understand how everything is really tied in together, or as maybe Mark Verstegen would say, seamlessly integrated. Now,
well, that's the thing is, if I did $250 a month and for 12 months, how many days does that client come in? Do they average twice a week? Well, if they average twice a week, I've got about 104 visits a year to train them, right? Can I get it done on 104 visits? What if every time they came in, what if I could improve their results by getting them to come in one extra time a month? And that takes me from like 104 visits to 116 visits in the year. Because when we come down to getting results, it's still going to end up being how often they can train. And then from a business point of view, every time a client comes in, they're more likely to stay with you, right? Because they're back in that culture more often. They're more likely to refer people because this has become a regular part of their life. And quite honestly, they're more likely to spend money with you. So having these clients and understand the lifetime value, it will increase if you get them. They'll get more if they're in more often. You get better results. You get better referrals. You get better testimonials. You get an increased number of members at your gym, and you also more visits usually means more money for the business.
Awesome. I want to, before I get into some of the details about the Launchpad, can we go over, because this is something that I think is brilliant. It's the hierarchy of marketing, and I think some of the brilliance in it is the fact that it always comes from the question, how much should I spend on advertising or marketing? And I think, this system is so brilliant because in the beginning, you're not spending anything. Can you go over the hierarchy of marketing? Because I think it's really for everybody. Any trainer can start doing this right away.
Yeah, this actually is something we landed on after, coaching some, fitness professionals, over and over again, and starting to realize, we need to get some of the basics down first before we even think about spending any money on marketing. And we're big on invest, if we can invest in marketing and it's going to get us more clients, then that's a great investment. But we don't want to do that until we're ready to do that. So we came up with the hierarchy of marketing, and it's been, literally this is like the, follow this and you will, your marketing will work. And really it's about, like I said, the basics first. Number one, you got to figure out your message. What's your tagline? What do you want to be known for? It goes back to that vision. It goes back to, what do you want to be legendary at? So knowing that first, because I think a lot of people just jump into their business. They, they don't think about that. They don't think about who their target market is. They don't think about who they're trying to reach. And so they kind of are all things to all people, which means they're nothing to nobody. So, it's really figuring out first, very specifically who your target market is and what the message that you want to get across to that target market is. So that's number one on the hierarchy. Before, if you don't have that, then don't move on. That's it. Like, stay there until you have it. Number two, start getting those stories from people that are just like that target market. So clients, they don't necessarily have to be before and after pictures. They can be, stories of, basically your client, changing their life. Maybe they are able to, play with their grandkids, or they're able to go on a hike with their family, or, whatever your target market is wanting more of. Make sure you have started to gather those stories from your clients. Nothing tells, the message better, the message of what you're trying to get across better than to have some of your real life clients telling that message. When it's one thing for you to say, here's my message, here's what I can do for people, but it's another thing for your clients to be able to share that and really say, this is what this gym has done for me. So that's the next step, is start to gather those stories, those pictures. People are very visual. They love, to hear other people's stories and people just like them. So once you have that message, target market, start to gather those stories from your clients. And then we want to start getting referrals. If you're not getting referrals from your client, then we need to ask some questions. Why not? Why aren't people telling other people about you? Why aren't they, why aren't their friends asking them, hey, what are you doing? You look great. Looks like, something's changing in your life. If we're having that kind of impact on our clients, then they should be sending us people. And so that's, a big, indicator of if your service is what it should be, if you're getting the results that you claim to get, and if you're really hitting that target market and helping them the way that they need helped. And so, keep working on your results if you're not getting those referrals.
I always go back to that. When we start talking about the higher marketing, I'm assuming that you're a solid trainer. Right? I'm assuming that right away you're getting good results. So if you're just not getting people stronger or leaner or faster or better at their sport, then you don't need to come to a business seminar yet, right? You need to be getting better as a trainer. But I'm assuming at this level, when you listen to the Strength Coach podcast regularly, that you're already doing that. And so the reason that your business isn't growing isn't because of your skill set or your ability, it's because of your strategy. Right? A lot of people that I meet, they've got skills, they've got abilities, but they don't have strategies. And that's what we teach.
And along with that, strategies to increase those referrals. So even, once you are getting those referrals, to even capitalize that even more, giving your clients, really the tools to refer more people to you. And like you said, Anthony, none of this is going to cost you anything. You're already building your business without spending a dime. Then of course we got to make sure your website is going to match the message that you have, and using some of those pictures and stories that you've, gathered from your clients, and using those on your website. One thing we've seen is we had a coaching member who grabbed our D2, drop 2 sizes marketing pieces, and he direct mailed them out to, his target market, and sent out, it was very feminine. It was pink with, girl with jeans on it. And, send out this direct mail piece, and we had seen it work great. It was working great in our business. And he did not get any response from it. And so,
his website traffic went up.
Right. So we were baffled. And so I started looking into it. And, first thing I did was, look at his direct mail piece and thought, okay, it looks similar to what we were using. So, it should work. Went to his website and realized his website was chains and flames, and it was very hardcore, and it was not the same message or target market at all. And so when we started looking at his website traffic, we realized people were getting the direct mail piece. It was working. They were actually going to the website. But then when they got there, they were realizing, oh boy, this was not the gym for me. So, really making sure you have that consistent message, in your website and your social media and anything you put out, that it's all for the same target market. And then from there, building your email list, on your website, you should have an opt-in form and start to build a relationship with the people that are interested in what you do, the people that sign up for that email list, stay in contact with them. And then from there, we're still not spending any money yet. We're still, just getting our word out, getting our message out, letting people know we're there. And further down the hierarchy now, we're going to start to take opportunities to get in front of people. We call it gifting, get in front of them. And this is just really to speak in front of audiences, find places, where, once you know what your target market is, start to figure out where are they and how can I be there? How can I, get in that place so that I can share what I do with my target market? And then, going and starting to find other businesses that also have your target market. So, what other businesses are marketing to the same people I am? How can we work together? How can we co-promote each other? And, really at this point, if you're tracking your prospects, like we talked about earlier, if you're tracking your numbers, and if how many people am I getting in, if you're not getting at least 10 leads a month from all of these things that don't cost anything, then we need to start over with number one. The message obviously isn't clear enough. We haven't, got enough of a story. We haven't got your target market really figured out, because you should be easily able to get 10 leads a month without ever spending a dime on marketing. And then once you're getting those 10 leads, then that tells you, okay, I have a solid message. I'm hitting the right target market. And, I have everything is giving that consistent message so that everything's saying the same thing and they're responding and people want more of what I'm offering. And so at that point, now we can start talking about, doing direct mail or, investing in our marketing because we have everything else in place.
The message thing is a big one, Ant, because I see a lot of people who are like, well, my message is clear. And I'm like, ask 10 of your members how they describe your gym. And if your message is clear, they should use the same words and the same language. And often what they'll say is, wow, the training is so hard. I almost puke sometimes. And then the diet he gives me is just like chicken and vegetables and brown rice. You should join. But that's not the message that you want to put out there, right? That's the message that they're saying. So a lot of time is that you're figuring out the message you want to have out there and then seeing, is that actually what clients are saying? So if you're not getting 10 to 12 inquiries a month, right, that's people interested in joining you, then somewhere higher up on the hierarchy, there's a hole. And again, I'm assuming that it's not your training ability, that you're doing a good job there. So the first one on that list is, what is your message? And are your clients saying that? And if they're not, how do we go about shaping that? There's certain tools you can use to shape that message so there's a consistent message. But the scorecard before you spend a single thing on even a Facebook ad or anything that any of these people are telling you to do right now is, I need to see 10 to 12 inquiries a month coming into your business, which with the decent sales system and actually with the bad sales system should be you growing to 3 to 4 clients per month every month. So if you're not adding 36 to 48 clients per year, there's a hole in your hierarchy. And paid advertising, and everything will help, but there's a lot of stuff you can do organically prior to that.
All right, awesome stuff. Well, I think we've given people way too much already.
People are just listening confused now, right?
Yeah. No, if they haven't been convinced that you guys know what you're talking about, believe me, this is going to be awesome. Give us,
we're just a little bit passionate about this topic.
Yeah.
I've said this to you before, Ant, that if I told you that my friend from Scotland was coming to meet us and he's the #1 personal trainer in Edinburgh, I don't know what you're visualizing. Are you visualizing a successful rich guy? Are you visualizing somebody who does okay? If I told you he was the best plastic surgeon in Edinburgh, right, or the top doctor, the top oncologist, or the top lawyer, you're picturing a successful, financially successful, worldly successful person. And it always bugs me that we don't have that same reputation in our field. I think we could have, and I think we should have. So I meet a lot of good trainers out there, and I know some trainers that can't even, they couldn't pay for $1,000 seminar on a credit card, but they don't have enough room, right? And they're good trainers. They're just, their business and their finance skills are so lacking behind their level that I just want to help them. I just want to help them to get to the next level. And I feel like this raises the standards of the profession for all of us, and we could be successful people.
Yeah, nothing breaks my heart more than to hear about a passionate fitness professional who, knows how to help people, wants to help people, but has to change careers or gets burnt out, because they just don't know they don't have the business skills. And so, I think, as you can see, Alan and I are just really passionate about helping more fitness professionals to really turn this into a career and turn this into a business and a life of their dreams, and that it is possible.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right. So the dates are October 1st to October 3rd. Let's go. It's in Valencia, California at the Hyatt Regency. Give us just a quick overview of some of the details. I know you got Joe Theismann coming, so just give us some more details about the seminar.
Yeah, we have everybody's coming. So yeah, Joe Theismann's coming. We have him as our keynote speaker. We actually have one of our coaches, James Malinchek, is going to be speaking. And he's excellent. And he's also going to be doing a meet and greet. So you're going to be able to meet him and, spend some time with him. We also have a bunch, our entire mastermind coaching group are going to be there, and a bunch of them, we have a few of them who we've given the opportunity to speak, so they're going to get that opportunity. Of course, our results fitness team, you're going to be learning all of our systems, from program design, our sales system. Alan and I will be doing a lot of the teaching, and we have a bunch of sponsors who are all going to be in attendance. We're actually going to have Perform Better there. We're going to have Nike, InBody, NetPulse, Ken Reinig, the insurance guy, is going to be there, Performance Food Center. So all the companies that we align ourselves with that have the same core values as us and who we use at Results Fitness are all going to be joining us. And, really, like we said earlier, it's going to be a complete reboot, reset for your business, and really, get everybody immersed in, changing the way fitness is done. And, really, like we talked about earlier, being there for 3 days, getting out of your business, coming to Valencia, which is where Results Fitness is located. So you're coming to the home of Results Fitness, where we've been, building our business for 15 years, and really, surrounding yourself with other like-minded, success focused, people who are all on the same mission to change the way fitness is done.
It's important for us. We like people to see the time that we run our business in, because we hear something as well. It's different in LA. Like, well, we're not in LA. We're outside of LA. It's a different little town, and you'll experience it, and you'll see that it's no different from your town, right? And honestly, 3 days out of your business and out of the hustle and bustle of the business, clearing your head and being surrounded by some of the most successful fitness business people on the planet in the audience, all thinking about success, you'll get some game-changing information and ideas before we even start your teaching, just because of the energy in the room and the conversations you'll have in the hallways, right? This is going to be, I'm excited. This is going to be the first ever big event that we've put on, and I'm pretty excited for it. Think of it as you're able to take 3 days out, and it just hits the reset button on your business. So all the little mistakes and all the things that you've run into and all the things that you're having problems with, it's a reset button. You're going to go back a completely different person with a completely different plan, and it's going to be awesome.
Very cool. And even cooler, you guys, Strength Coach Podcast, we're going to do a little bit of a discount, right? That ends August 10th, right? So they can get a link at strengthcoachpodcast.com for your early bird registration, and that ends
secret link.
The secret link.
Right.
At strengthcoachpodcast.com. And so, yeah, they can get that early bird discount. We'll get that going. And again, October 1st to 3rd. It's 3 days. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is going to sell out. We're actually, that August 10th is the day after Long Beach Perform Better. So we plan to finish selling the seminar out by then. I have, much earlier, it'll probably be completely sold out. So yeah, definitely make sure to take action and get signed up.
All right, very cool. Guys, thanks so much for coming on and not only talking about the seminar, but giving people some a little bit more in-depth information about running a business. So we really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony.
All right, well, that's going to do it for special episode 169.5 of the Strength Coach Podcast. Great stuff from the Cosgroves. Remember, at this Launchpad to Success, if you've thought about opening your own studio or going out on your own and you're a little scared, that's okay. You don't know the first step. You're afraid to fail. Those are all common things. This event is for you. If you're stuck in a rut, you're doing a job. We all love this job and we probably do it for free. And sometimes I feel like we do, right? You're not making the profit you deserve and you have no way of taking any vacation or time off. And that always sucks. This event will teach you how to change that. And, a lot of us we're living, or I used to, we're living from session package to session package, hoping your next client shows up with a check to pay for his next package of sessions, and then you could pay the rent. And then that's crazy, and that's no way to live. And that's why this event is really important. You're going to learn how not to do that. It can feel real easy to kind of feel like a prisoner to your clients. And you get tired of working that kind of split shift hour after hour and you're barely getting by and you get frustrated. And I think, that's the cool thing about the Cosgroves. I mean, it changed my world and I know it can change yours. And the Launchpad to Success will teach you how to increase your income while you're decreasing your hours. You can take more time off. You can build the dream business that you thought about when you first opened your business, along with building that dream life. So if you want to check out the Launchpad to Success, take advantage of the early bird special. It ends August 10th. Go to strengthcoachlaunch.com. That's strengthcoachlaunch.com. Even if you don't get in on the early bird special, this is so worth the investment. And the cool thing is they're giving big discounts if you want to bring a staff member or spouse, which is, really not a bad idea. They have special discounts for that. Remember, this is October 1st to October 3rd out in California, Valencia, California. Beautiful place. Go to strengthcoachlaunch.com. Check out all of the details. My name's Anthony Wren. You can reach me at strengthcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again, and I'll speak to you next time.